Welcome to my introduction to Love to Learn and Tutor. So, I focus on self-directed and lifelong learning, as well as having a growth mindset. And the most important thing is loving to go ahead and learn. My humble introduction is that my bachelor's is in psychology, my master's is in counseling, and I have taught courses for student development, specifically for college level students. I was also a sports psychology consultant in another country, which would be beneficial in terms of tutoring. I've served as a mentor in an online university, and I'm in the process of completing my PhD in post-secondary and adult education. And you may think, what am I going to do with kids? The basic tenets still of adult education is still very much practical or applicable to the young generation. And more importantly is the reason why I'm doing this is because I really love to learn myself, to think, and at the same time to teach other people. So you start them young. So you go ahead and think first of the importance of watch what you think, because they become your words. Watch what you say, because those will be your actions. That's what you will go ahead and do. And if you continue to do the same things over and over, it will become your habit. And if it's a habit of yours, then it becomes who you are as an individual in terms of your character. And in terms of character, that's what's going to happen for you moving forward. So watch what you think, because it will lead to one's destiny. And they think it would be a good idea to start implementing this or sharing this with the young generation as early as possible. This slide is about beyond finding X and memorization, because I believe that's for the most part what we try to go ahead and do and learn, but sometimes life and learning is more than that. Again, self-directed and lifelong learning. What that means is that the learner himself or herself will be self-directed, that he or she will do that he or she needs to do in order to go ahead and learn and get better in terms of academics and in life in general. And then lifelong learning is that love and passion that learning doesn't stop when school has ended, when the homework has ended, or after the school year has ended. Lifelong learning continues to happen on a day-to-day basis, regardless of where you are in life. The next one is having a growth mindset. A growth mindset is trying to be able to go ahead and develop the mind that it's not about abilities, but the effort that we put into the things that we go ahead and do. The other focus that I want to provide is critical thinking and higher order thinking skills. Again, it's beyond memorization, and try to identify relationships, analysis, and deeper level of thinking that is again beyond memorization. The next one is metacognition. I would like the learners to go ahead and think more about thinking. Exactly what did they learn, and then how did they learn that? And that's where metacognition will come in. Because if we are able to develop the basic tenets of such thought processes, eventually it would help them out later on in life, academically and personally, as well as professionally. Next up is emotional intelligence. So yes, for the most part, standardized tests are based on intelligence or IQ, but at times, at life, sometimes emotional intelligence is way more important. It's having the ability to go ahead and be able to manage stressors, be able to manage oneself when faced with challenges. And other things such as study skills, which I'll talk more in the next slide. And again, hopefully I get to share to them about the importance of learning, and that they are able to love to think and to teach other people as well. So beyond finding X and memorization, one of which is time management. Or managing the activities that we do on a day-to-day basis. Because we should have time to be our partners, not necessarily go against what time is. And as I mentioned, regarding the fixed mindset or growth mindset, it may not necessarily be clear here, but again, the importance of having a growth mindset is that they embrace challenge, and when there are setbacks, they're able to push through them. And again, effort is more important, more than just intelligence or natural ability, and that they are inspired by others and learn through life experiences. So my tutoring approach is going to be different. So I have multiple questions to know you more and the tutee. And there will be a free 30-minute consultation, or feel free to go ahead and observe as I go ahead and tutor somebody else. And I really try to individualize the learning process because every learner is different. And the adults are very much included in the whole learning process because I want you to be able to continue whatever you believe is working with the learner accordingly. Next is zone of proximal development. I'll talk about that in the next few seconds here. Another one is appreciative inquiry. The main focus of appreciative inquiry is to focus on what works. Unfortunately, in life, we have the tendency to go ahead and identify what does not work. But we should be able to capitalize on what already works. And as we go ahead, and as I mentioned, as I ask many questions before we begin the tutoring process, is that we will set goals collectively. We'll work together, and then we will continuously assess how we are meeting those goals. Are we meeting those goals, and what else we can go ahead and do to improve, and then at the same time to continue whatever good things that we've done so far. Returning to zone of proximal development, the green portion are the abilities and skills already set right now, currently. But this is where tutoring will come in. That's where you want the person to move into in the next level. The red area will be a little bit way too far or too advanced, so we'll hold on to that. But again, this is where I would come in. That's why it is important to identify where the tutee is first, and that is the green section right there, to determine and to scaffold accordingly on where to move on next in terms of the tutoring process. So what to do before meeting me? As I mentioned, I'll provide you the questionnaire, and so that I have a better idea of who I'll be working with. I'll watch all the videos available from this series, and so that you guys get to be familiar with me as well. Discuss the process with the tutee, so that way they would know who I am, and when the first time we meet, they would have seen me, they would have known what we're going to do, and so on and so forth. And feel free to list questions that you may have, especially during the free 30-minute consultation. And please bring all the educational materials in order to be able to measure the zone of proximal development sooner than later. And what to do during the free consultation. So when we go ahead and meet during the first 30 minutes, right, ask a lot of questions. I want you to be as informed as much as possible with the whole process. And then try to be observant if I'm working with another kid and see what the dynamics would be. And also please determine if it is a good match about my approach with you and the tutee, if there would be a goodness of fit with everyone involved. Alright, so these are the things that hopefully we get to establish on the first meeting. And then as we go ahead and proceed, we'll continue to remind the tutee about what he or she is learning, and that we focus on effort and the discipline in terms of continuously working with what we need to go ahead and do and accomplish. And as I mentioned about the goals, we need to continuously review them and reassess them. And then again, we constantly remind the tutee about the importance of effort, growth mindset, and then at the same time lifelong and self-directed learning as discussed earlier. Why am I doing this then? Because as I mentioned, I love, begins with my kid, to learn, to think, and to continuously get better, grow, and develop. As a lifelong learner myself, I know there's so much more to learn in life. and hopefully I would be able to contribute for the next generation. Subjects and other content matter. Pre-K math to college algebra or statistics, reading in all levels, science in most levels, higher order thinking skills or critical thinking. Hopefully we get to discuss goal setting as well. If you need help with other subject matters such as study skills, how to study at home, and so on and so forth, that's what we could do. Self-management, as discussed in terms of emotional intelligence, and then how to be able to cope a little bit more with life stressors. So those are things that I could go ahead and tutor you with, or anybody else that you love and care for. And this is pretty much the slides, the pictures that I have used. So thank you, and if you have other questions, feel free to go ahead and shoot me an email, and hopefully we get to meet and help you out accordingly. Thank you.